Good evening. Welcome to EduTalks by Entab. I'm Deepa Bhushan, Director Schools for the CP Goenka International School, an educator now for almost 25 years, and of course, a parent like many of you here. I'd like to talk today about working and learning from home, learning at home in today's times. I think we're going through certain very unconventional times today. And things have really changed for us in a very short span of time, a very small span of time, I'd say that. So we're looking at how things can work, things can become better for us, how can we manage at home, not only with our children, but with ourselves in today's times. So I'm going to share a few pointers with all of you today, and I hope this makes sense and is something that helps all of you while you are at home. So, we're all in this hurry to get onto the bandwagon and get onto online learning. Let's go online. What are our children doing? How do we keep them busy? But something that's very important for us to understand is how do we ensure that our children learn to deal with their fears? How do we ensure that our children learn to deal with the anxiety that we are also undergoing today? uh, we're so unsure about what is the next step going to be, till when are we going to be at home, uh, what should we do not only with ourselves but with our family members, with our children. So this is a timeline when everything is in a state of flux, and as we are going through this, so will our children. And to help them go through this, we need to work on certain areas. And the first step is go slow. Help them, help your children, help your family members to learn to deal with this fear and anxiety. That we will be safe if we follow the steps that need to be followed, if we take care. Stop viewing so much of news all the time, and I'm sure you'll be doing better with that. And your children need that encouragement too. I'd say they need to be told things will be fine. This is a phase that we're going through. We need to take care, and then we will get better. So, this is the first step that needs to happen. Take your time to do that. Don't be in a hurry to move into other spaces where study needs to happen. And if we miss out on our studies, what's going to be done? Children are at home whole day. What are we going to do? So, the first step is learning to deal with your emotions. And I think that's the largest life skill. That is there in today's time. So that needs to be taken care of. And when you are dealing with it yourself and you are helping your children to deal with it, this is the largest learning that they take forward in their lives. So I hope for all those who are joining in later, I'm just going to quickly summarize that I'm talking about learning to deal with anxiety, learning to deal with the fears, the unsure spaces is a space that children need to look into and take care of. Uh, I'd also like to share with you about learning from others in the family. So, learning is not only something that's there in the textbooks or in books, but it's something that we learn from other members in our family. Each one of us has something that we can take from, and we start looking at each other as people with strength areas and challenge areas. So let's learn from the strengths as well as the challenge areas, which means what are the things to do and what is not to be done. And I think when children observe and you ask them to observe, and when each one starts interacting, kind of with each other, and you ask children to observe also what they'd like to learn from each person. So, simple thing like, say, mom is very good at doing, say, organizing the accounts of the house, and she can actually sit down with her child and say, okay, let me teach you how you can organize the accounts. So this is all that comes in a month, and this is how I plan myself. So if you were to do it, how would you be able to do it? And kind of handholds the child through it. Maybe the father is very good at making tea. And at this time, the father needs to ensure the child is with him or her, with him, and is learning to make good tea. So, one of the largest things that we're teaching children also with this is there is no gender bias, and there are no roles in this space. So, how do we actually have to get together? Everyone needs to pitch in and work as a family, and it's not that roles are diversified. So these are so many life learnings actually that you're taking your children through in this timeline while being at home. And this is not something that would just come through reading a textbook or just learning a particular syllabus in math, science, English, just that. So these are very important learnings for their life in the future, for living life peacefully, because times are changing. And to cope with this change, also understanding how to cope with change in today's times. A lot of the time we're giving children everything on a platter, to a great extent. So we're telling them, everything comes in ready. It's like fast food in today's times. So how do you ensure that children kind of are able to grapple with this change? At this point, we have all had to uh, move so fast with this change, where from being out all the time, you are 24/7 in your household. From being able to go to work every day, you had to work from home. From being in a classroom every day with your friends, to just being at home and having to do things by yourself. So the social distancing space has created that too. So I think somewhere one of the things that we also need to teach children is that it's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to spend time with yourself. It's okay to think for yourself. And it's okay to just be. It's okay to just sit and stare outside the window and look at the greenery. So, calming down, I think, is the most important space that needs to come through. These are all the life learnings that are coming through in today's times. And as I'm speaking with you, I'm just thinking there are so many things that as a family I am learning today at my age. And we thought, we've done a lot of reading, we've done a lot of learning, we've had a lot of experience, but aren't we also learning today? So, at adults, when you show your child that you are ready to look at this change in a positive manner, that you are ready to say that I'm looking at the brighter side of whatever is happening, we should. There will be a lot of, I'd say, space that will be created for the child to look up to you and say, okay, this is maybe what I need to do, and this is how I need to take things forward. So, to do this, there are a few practical things that we also need to look at. So, one is change your timetable. So we all have a schedule within the day, and maybe as some of us who are working parents, we'd be at home 2 hours in the day and maybe 5 hours in the evening, and that's when you really meet the whole family. So in a 24-hour schedule, if you see, we would be like, say, 5 to 7 hours together. But in today's time, you are almost like, say, 24 hours together, of which, if you count out the sleeping hours, it's almost, I'd say, 14 hours, 15 hours together. So the first thing that you do is you create a timetable for yourself, for your child. In this space, you are creating timetables for everybody in your household. So the timetable just is different. It's not like a school timetable where you're saying math, PE, art, yeah, but it's a different timetable where you actually put down. So you get up in the morning, you're getting ready, you have your basics in place. So you do your getting ready space. What is it that is your task for the day, which each one gets delegated a task within the house, and however young your child is, get them involved, maybe some of the tasks can be done with you rather than them doing it by themselves. And then you have your spaces where it's your quiet time, where it's your art time, where it is your maybe doing your craft, maybe a little bit of study, maybe reading. So all these spaces need to be created into a timeline. Learning from dad, learning from mom, learning from grandpa, grandma. All these can be created as a schedule and can be done. And that's how you keep the whole structure together. And then you also keep quiet time, because not only you but your child need your space. When we are continuously together, when we are sitting in the same room together all the time, all of us together, there is bound to be a little schedule. There's a little bit of, I'd say sometimes, a friction, things happening. But how do we ensure that, we create those spaces to have a little bit of space from each other, right? So that people are doing tasks. There are certain tasks that you will do together, but certain where each one has their own space and is given their own time to do their own thing and be in their own spaces. And this is important for adults as well as for young children in the family. So ensuring that space is happening is a must within the this time that we have together while we're learning at home, because this too is learning. Being bored, being left to your own self to do your own thing is also an important thing. You don't want to be micromanaged all the time. None of us as adults like it, nor do children. So they also need their own space. Give them their own play space. Try as much as possible to say, okay, this is your time, do whatever you'd like to. That's important, and give them their place as long as they're safe within your household, because you can't go out right now. Another thing, of course, I can't tell enough about is do activities together. So things like, whether you want to do, I mean, there's a lot happening, and when you go online, you're seeing these spaces that are happening today, which are, kind of dancing together, exercising together, meditating together. All these spaces are spaces that you can do together. So, and actually doing household tasks together. So these are things that you need to do together. So keeping these key areas in mind, it's a must that you put all these things together and you do. And then, of course, comes studying, which is so important for children. And technology at this time is playing such a large role in that space. So there are so many resources that have come up free right now, and we're also looking at a lot of resources for our group of schools. We're looking at various platforms and assessing, because as we are moving, there are better and better platforms coming from. There is Zoom, that's of course working very well. There are Google Classrooms, there is Microsoft Team, and there are so many more platforms that are coming through. So how do you ensure that these platforms are actually utilized in the best possible way? Teachers are recording their videos. So based on what requirement at a particular grade level, what children can work with at a particular section, the kind of attention spans children have, we take all this into account, and on the basis of that only do we say that, okay, what should be used by children. So we are looking into so many platforms that are being utilized today, and we found Zoom to be a very good platform to work with. Google Classrooms is another platform. Each platform faces its own challenges and has its pros too. But we're seeing that our children are picking up much faster. So one of the things that I always speak about is let children be the teacher for technology rather than us. So we're kind of, turning that whole cycle back, and we're saying, while we're teaching children on technology, we need to ask them what could be done better and how can we help them to learn better. I think if we start working with that space, not only will we learn, but our children will learn, because when you teach somebody something, you'll always learn it better. And our children will start exploring and finding new avenues with which, we can teach them better. rather than we telling them, okay, this is the way and you connect with us. Because I mean, today whenever we have an issue, the first person who we go to in our house, with technology, is our teenager in the house or even a youngster. So the same way children are teaching us how we need to go ahead, and we need to kind of get together. So technology is a must, but I will also come back to the point and state that let this not be the only tool in today's times. What happens is, uh, because we have no other way of connect with the outside world currently, we are using technology to its maximum, but let us also be a little cautious in the way we are using it, how much of time we are giving our children on it, and how much space do we want to open up for them. So the best thing is to kind of ensure that we are able to manage it in the right way. I know with all of us also grappling with a lot, because you are not only working from home for the working parents, but you're also working at home. You need to ensure there is food on the table, the house is clean, your children are occupied, you are occupied, and everyone's smiling and happy too, because otherwise it's a difficult space to be in. And also that all of you are healthy. So when all this is to be taken care of, uh, a little bit of planning is needed. And I'd not say only a little bit, but a lot more planning is needed. And if you keep that in mind, and if you keep a few of these pointers in mind, which is, learn to deal with your fears and anxieties, I think give time to that a lot, as much as possible that you can. Help your children also go through it, and first deal with it for yourself. When you deal with it, you're able to help your children also to deal with it. And it's okay to accept the fact that we are going to have our fears, we are going to be anxious, we are going to be unsure about what's going to happen in the future. But let's follow whatever is informed to us to be safe in the right manner, and let our children also understand why we need to follow rules. That's a huge learning that we're giving our children, that why we need to follow rules. So do that. Another thing is learning from others in the house, the strengths, the challenge areas. Each one of us has something to teach. Make your timetable. Don't forget that. So create your timetable, change it to ensure that everything is in place, and keep your spaces. That's very important. Each one of you must have some time to yourself, your own space, because when we all come fresh, we are more patient to deal with whatever's coming our way, and we all need that. Another thing is doing things together, which is a must. And of course, technology. Now, you're seeing that this learning is not only about being book smart, right? It's actually about succeeding in life. And this is the most important learning that we're having currently while we're being at home. And take this back with you. I'm sure all of you are, being told. And today we've actually, when we're seeing our WhatsApp and news and everywhere, we've been told so much about the coronavirus and where we stand today. But I think that if we are able to use this time to make changes in our life, these will actually bring out success for us in life. Yes, and I see someone's comment stating, yes, not easy, but not impossible. I completely agree with you. And for that, I'm going to read out something to you today that I read, and I thought I will read out to all of you. And just, sorry, give me a second. So, limitations live only in our minds, but if we use our imagination, our possibilities become limitless. Yeah, so with that, I say that let your possibilities become limitless and continue to use your imagination. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about dancing in the rain. Thank you so much. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Entab for having these amazing sessions for us educators, and for all parents and teachers, and So thank you so much. NTAB has been here for 20 years with 1,500 schools. They have this huge ERP that they work with. And I think the largest thing that they are doing is to uplift the level of education, across our country, and of course, looking across too. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being here today. I hope I've been able to help in some way. Thank you. Thank you.